Good morning. I'm Sarah Bayless, Associate News and Features Editor at School Library Journal. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here at the Library of Congress with Dr. Carla Hayden, our 14th Librarian of Congress. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Early in her career, Dr. Hayden was a children's librarian at the Chicago Public Library. You rose to second in command at Chicago before moving to the Baltimore system.
With a few in-betweens, teaching at the University of Pittsburgh, working at the Museum of Science and Industry, starting the first public children's and public library and a museum there. And so a few byways before I went back to Chicago.
Earning your doctorate along the way.
Just a couple of things.
Dr. Hayden took office as Librarian of Congress in September. You've been very busy since then. You started a Twitter feed. A lot has been happening. Dr. Hayden was also Library Journal's Librarian of the Year in 1995 and President of the American Library Association from 2003 to 2004. Dr. Hayden, during your ALA presidency, your theme was equity of access. And in fact, throughout your career, equity and children's services have both been ongoing priorities for you. So my question is, how are those coming to the fore in your current position?
I'm very fortunate that I get a chance at the Library of Congress to bring those ideas together, making sure that as many people as possible have access to now the Library of Congress, the world's largest library, with so many unique and wonderful items, and to make sure that there's an emphasis on young people and giving them the information and the background and helping them make history.
I know you have so many ideas about expanding access to the collection for children, both here at the Young Reader Center at the library and throughout the country by increasing access to the digital collection. Tell us more about what you have planned.
One of the first things that we're doing in terms of increasing access at the Young Reader Center is opening it up more hours. We just opened on Saturdays, and also when we have authors, and there's going to be an author today, to live stream the presentation out to communities in the country. And we started with public libraries, and we hope to expand it to school libraries, other places that young people gather. And of course, using the tools of today, technology, to give access wherever young people, and anyone, would be to digitize collections, some of our unique items that will be digitized. Quite a few of them already are.
Well, I hear there's 160 million plus items in the collection and 10,000 more coming in every day.
It's quite something, but think of having that at your fingertips.
During your confirmation hearings, you spoke movingly about how some of the objects in the collection could enrich children's lives and, in fact, be life-changing for some of them. And you cited some papers from Rosa Parks as an example. So my question is, how do you plan to work with schools and educators to make them aware of the riches in the collection and use them in a meaningful way?
We're working on expanding the awareness of a program that the library has, Teaching with Primary Sources. And it's specifically targeted to K through 12 curriculum development and using the resources of the Library of Congress. We also have a program, and I'm really excited about expanding this, a teacher in residence program. And what it does is allows a teacher to have expenses paid to come to the Library of Congress and really hone down into making certain items and collections even more accessible for specific grades. And we love to have more teachers in residence to help us expand that. So that's going to be a major emphasis.
I also heard that you may have plans to put some items on an 18-wheeler truck and have that driven around the country?
I'm not going to drive it. Don't worry.
Tell me more.
We're revitalizing a program that the library had several years ago, taking an actual truck, 18-wheeler truck, into communities. And so we're bringing that back with an emphasis on going to areas where young people are, outside of rec centers, different types of schoolyards, things like that, and really using technology and actual people on the 18-wheeler to connect with communities. So we're very excited about that, and we hope to have not only just one, but maybe three, one on each coast and one in the middle.
Fantastic. Oh, that'll be
So
something.
Library of Congress on the go.
Tell us a little bit about what you have planned here at the Young Readers Center.
Well, at the Young Readers Center, beyond expanding the hours, we are working on renovating the entire center, possibly relocating it to make it even more accessible to school groups and to people coming in every day. And that project will be starting very shortly because we're going to ask for input from people who work with young people and the young people themselves. So focus groups, online input, we'll be posting things and saying, hey, what would you like to have in a Young Reader Center?
Kind of broader question. Public libraries and school libraries, for that matter, have always been havens for families and children. And you know this firsthand from your time in Baltimore, when you kept the library open following the death of Freddie Gray in 2015. We're still living in challenging times for many families and children. So my question is, what advice do you have for school and public librarians to preserve equity of access for children?
This is a wonderful time for librarians in all settings to maintain what the basic mission of a library is, and that's to provide the most accurate information, to provide sanctuary and safety for people as they pursue their own ideas. And so we, I think, are in a continuing aspect of being that place, that safe place in communities, in schools, wherever we are. The library should be that neutral zone.
Another question related to the times having to do with fake news. So, of course, this is a topic that is at top of mind for so many librarians teaching information literacy right now. Do you see a way that the Library of Congress can play a role in K-12 information literacy?
All libraries have an opportunity, and the Library of Congress, of course, is an authoritative source for information, and just making sure that the networks of libraries are vital and that we all cooperate and partner will strengthen local efforts, and really looking at the school library effort with information literacy. That's where it starts in most schools. That's the first library experience for many young people. That's how they learn to use a library. It's your school library. So we'll be hoping that our Teaching with Primary Sources program, that expansion, will help strengthen the school library effort.
Do you have an opinion on how young kids should be when they start learning information literacy and news literacy?
I have a healthy respect for the intellect of young people. I just spent time with an 8 and a 7-year-old who were very interested in how to take in information, and they have so many choices now. So as early as possible, 3, 4 years old, there might be ways to talk about what you see, what you might think. I don't think you can start early enough.
If kids could see, say, 5 top items in the Library of Congress collection, what would you suggest?
There are several things that would interest young people depending on their age group. Of course, the Gutenberg Bible, it's big. You get to talk about books, and that would be something that I think that young people would be interested. America's birth certificate, the first time the word America appears in English, would be something that you could relate to them. Thomas Jefferson's library, all of the books that he had, and why those books are part of the Library of Congress. If they're very fortunate in terms of a tour, they hear about Abraham Lincoln, and there's a life mask of Abraham Lincoln, and that's actually online now.
Okay.
And you could look at that. And then, of course, Rosa Parks' handwritten notes about how she felt when she was arrested. And I think that would really resonate with young people today.
Do you think the library has a role in STEM education and library makerspaces?
Of course. and you might have, I hope people don't think that I put you up to that, but that's part of what we're hoping the expansion of the Young Readers Center will include. A makerspace and more opportunities for young people to create their own history and to do things right there on the spot. So you will be seeing a makerspace activity area at the Library of Congress.
I hear you also have a teen board of book reviewers at the Young Readers Center, and you have plans for more.
Yes, and we want to expand. In fact, I met with them recently to say, you are our primary source, our own primary source of thinking about how the space could be reconfigured. What would make it easier for you? What would you like to see? Right now, you get a reader's card for using the library at 16. What are some spaces that might help you if you were 12 or 13? We're putting everybody to work.
As you should. So,
well, that's
thank you
wonderful.
so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.